Oh, hey, how are you? See that little trick? I knew you were coming. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you just very briefly about one of my novels. I'm wearing a shirt that I dearly love. Has the emblem for the oldest high school west of the Mississippi. It's called Lahainaluna. It's in Maui. It's been around since 1831. Yes, it was a boarding school for many years, still was last time I looked, but the boarding program was in danger. Boys lived there. They paid for their room and board by working fields and selling the fruits and vegetables and eggs and so forth. The very first white boy, and one word that's used for that, sometimes derogatorily, is the word Haole. The very first Haole boarder at Lahainaluna, the oldest school west of the Mississippi, who went 4 years and graduated, was a guy by the name of Charlie. And they called him Whitey. And I wrote a book about him. Here he is, right here. Whitey. The book is called My Haole Brother, because yes, he was my brother. In another video, I talked about prefaces, and this book has a preface just because the story came out of the context of information I received. So you see, my brother and I, when we left the Azores Islands in Portugal and headed to the United States, we each had a trunk, a metal trunk. We filled it up with our stuff and brought it over to territorial Hawaii. Eventually is where we stopped. That was my father's next duty station. And I had my trunk with me. My brother had his trunk with him. And then as my brother moved out and I moved on, and he took his trunk with him. He passed away young, sadly. It's another story. And his trunk was lost until years later I got a phone call from my aunt who lived in Oklahoma. I was over in Arizona, and she called me and she said, "We found Charlie's trunk." I said, "Where?" She said it was in the attic of the old house we used to live in California. It turns out that this young woman who'd come back to live with her parents for a while, I think she had a child and she was raising that child, needed a little help from her parents. Anyway, she saw these two women outside the window, and these women were taking a photograph of her house, and she went out and she said, "Why are you taking a picture of the house?" And she said, "Because we used to know the woman who lived here." And the young woman said, "Oh, good, because up in the attic, I found this old, dilapidated, falling apart, stuff spilled on the floor, travel trunk of all this information that seemed important." It was about a boy who went to a school in Hawaii, Lahainaluna High School. So anyway, this woman got, the young woman from the two elderly women taking a photograph of the house, got the phone number of my aunt who had sold that house to her parents. My aunt being in Oklahoma, my aunt called and said we had the trunk. I asked the woman there in California to send me all that information, and it ended up in this book, vast majority of it anyway, with pictures in the back. I'm not suggesting you put pictures in your novel, but I did in that one. It's an interesting story, this one, My Haole Brother, about the trials and tribulations of this young white boy at a very challenging but wonderful school on the island of Maui, Lahainaluna. All right, that's enough for today. Talk to you later. Bye now.